You know, guys, today I thought I was done with the content, but then I just came across this conversation that Gwede Mantashe just had on the sidelines of the ANC NGC meeting. And Gwede Mantashe is speaking about the black middle class and how the black middle class is not associating themselves with the African National Congress. And Gwede also makes an example that if you look at the white people in this country are funding the Democratic Alliance and they are doing it unashamedly so. But then you have the black middle class, and it looks like the black middle class does not want to fund the African National Congress. And it's making things a bit hard. It's making things a bit hard. So for the issues that we are facing today, we are officially being told that the black middle class is the one that is not doing what they are supposed to be doing.
What you should take into account very serious is the fact that beneficiaries of change don't fund the change. And if that is the case, the ANC...
And guys, you hear he's calling the black middle class the beneficiaries of change. And I think he's doing that because he's trying to push this line that we as the African National Congress, we actually fought for this change. And how dare you, middle class, the people that have benefited from our work, not funding our movement. You know, these people from the African National Congress, they have this thing of thinking that they are the only ones that fought apartheid. Average South Africans were not persecuted. No, it is only them that they were persecuted. And the black people that have benefited from this change that was brought by the African National Congress, they must do what they need to do. They must fund the African National Congress because now they are not behaving like their white counterparts.
What you should take into account very serious is the fact that beneficiaries of change don't fund the change. And if that is the case, the ANC will reflect that in practical terms, that many of the people who are in the middle strata are beneficiaries of change, but many of them don't recognize that. And as a result of that, they don't associate with change. And any revolution is as successful as the intellectual capacity it generates for itself. But if our own middle class think that they are lucky, they're intelligent, and they can do things, they don't appreciate that they are beneficial.
But then they are intelligent. They are intelligent. They are.
Beneficiaries of change, then the ANC will be in bad shape.
So we're in this position because the middle class is not playing their part?
We're in this case because beneficiaries of change don't see themselves taking responsibility for continued change. They have arrived, they've kicked the ladder, but there are many who must still climb the ladder. And let them be part of white people in business. Fund the DA, unashamedly. Our people in business are ashamed to fund the ANC because they...
Maybe, just maybe, the question is, ask yourself why. Why don't the black middle class want to associate themselves with the African National Congress? This is the question that you should be asking. Before you continue with your rant of blaming everything on them, just ask yourself, why don't the black middle class does not want to associate themselves with the African National Congress? Why does the black middle class does not want to fund, in your words, the African National Congress? And I think you might actually find your answer.
In business are ashamed to fund the ANC because they think that it is bad to associate with the ANC. They would rather be neutral. And there's nothing neutral in the case of a battle. And you will notice, Gwede, white supremacy is beginning to emerge and be emboldened. And that white supremacy is based on the theory that black is inferior and wrong, white is superior and correct. Even when there are issues of corruption, if they are white, there are mistakes. If they are black, there are corruption.
You say people...
Oh, the racial card. The racial card that these people use every time. Of course, he had to take it there, man. He had to take it there. But the thing is that I don't think that the people, black people that are in the middle class, I don't think they will be convinced by the national chairperson of the ANC telling them that you guys think that you have arrived, you think you are intelligent. And we are looking at you kicking the ladder, not wanting the rest of us to climb up there with you. But I think what Gwede Mantashe is forgetting that they are not the middle class. Them in the ANC, they are the elites. They are the elites. They are not down with everybody else. Because he's trying to act like, no, we are down with average South Africans. We are struggling with average South Africans. We cannot afford food, man. The electricity is expensive. There's no water where we live. But these people are way above the middle class. And they are way above the middle class. And I don't think the people in the middle class, they would be actually convinced to now look into their bank accounts and make conscious decisions to fund the African National Congress. Not with the national chairperson on national television speaking like this. Not like this, man.
People are ashamed of associating with the ANC.
Yes.
It's quite the statement, Chair.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you to unpack for us why you think that is, especially because, let's face it, that wasn't always the case.
Yes.
There was a moment, I think, where people would very proudly be associated with the party.
It's because, you see, when we talk of motive forces, we talk of the various people who are beneficiaries of change. Whether they're the working class or the peasant or the middle strata or aspirant and real capitalist. That is the definition of motive forces. We always talk to these motive forces. All of a sudden, if you are an ANC person like myself, if somebody accuses me of anything, of any wrongdoing, I'm found guilty before it is tested. My duty is to prove my innocence. But for everybody else, they are innocent until found guilty. But in my case, I'm guilty until I prove my innocence.
But Gwede Mantashe is not answering the question, man. He's not answering the question. He's not answering the question. Why are these people not associating themselves with the African National Congress? And again, why? Why is it when a member of the African National Congress has been accused of maybe, let's say, corruption, people instantly believe that they did it? Now, Gwede Mantashe has two questions to ask themselves. Why do the public believe when we are accused of corruption? And why don't the black middle class associate themselves with us? And I think if Gwede Mantashe was an honest man, he would actually have the answers for these questions. I know you guys already have the answers for these questions. I know. I already have the answers for these questions. But I think at this point, it is too obvious. It is too obvious, guys. Let me not speak about these answers here. Let's allow them to figure it out. Because it seems like even the top structure of the ANC does not understand why don't the middle class want to associate themselves with them. So let's let them figure it out. Let's let them figure it out. Since everybody there is actually too lazy to use their brain. It seems like they are too lazy to use their brains. I don't know, guys, but I don't know. Do you agree with Gwede Mantashe? Do you agree with Gwede Mantashe that the black middle class has kicked the ladder and not allowed other black people to climb the ladder? And a black middle class should be ashamed and compared to their white counterparts. These people, how dare you guys sit there and allow these white people to fund the Democratic Alliance, and you guys are not funding us? How are you allowing a situation like that to happen? We see it. We see the white people, man. They are funding the Democratic Alliance. You are not doing the same. You are not doing the same. Oh my goodness, man. It is such a ridiculous argument. It is such a ridiculous argument. You know, in this country, man, like, if we are being honest, you don't need comedy, man. You don't need comedy when you have people like Gwede Mantashe giving us a free comedy every day and keeping us entertained. during this festive season. Guys, what are your thoughts? Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button. And the most important part is subscribe. Subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.